Hello friends, you are watching Biology by Dr. N.S. Jain. Today we are going to discuss about a topic related to the plant anatomy, and that is known as the complex tissue. And we know very well that in complex tissue, the complex tissue is of two types, xylem and phloem. Okay, today we are going to discuss the phloem. This word phloem was first of all given by a scientist known as the Nageli, and the phloem is basically concerned with the conduction of the food. As we know very well that the leaves prepare the food, and the food from the leaves is conducted to the various part of the plant because of the phloem. Okay, now if we talk about the phloem, then on the basis of the origin and the development, we can classify the phloem into two categories: primary phloem and the secondary phloem. And the primary phloem is formed or originated from the procambium, and the secondary phloem is originated from the vascular cambium. And also this primary phloem is divided into two categories: protophlloem and metaphlloem. Proto means first, meta means later. Means the protophlloem is the first formed phloem, while the metaphlloem is the later formed phloem. And what is the chief difference between the protophlloem and the metaphlloem? That protophlloem are having narrow sieve tubes, and the metaphlloem are having the broad sieve tubes. Now let's have a look on the components of the phloem, that how many components are there. So altogether we can say that phloem is composed of four important components. The first is the sieve elements, second is the companion cells, third is the phloem fiber, and the fourth one is the phloem parenchyma. Okay, so these are the components of the phloem. Let's have a discussion here. First of all, I am going to discuss the sieve element. This is the most important part of the phloem. Many people are having confusion regarding these sieve elements. Basically, in many books it is directly written that the first component of the phloem is the sieve tube. Okay, but here I want to put a notice here that basically sieve elements are there in the phloem. And in phloem, the sieve elements are classified basically into two parts. Means sieve elements are of two types. One is known as the sieve tube element, and another is known as the sieve cell. Basically, there is a slight difference between the sieve tube and the sieve cells. Okay, so both the sieve tube element and the sieve cells are actually studied under the sieve elements. First of all, I will be discussing about the sieve tube element, and then I will be discussing about a sieve cell. Now, first of all, you must know that it is the feature of the sieve elements, out of these sieve elements, the sieve tube element is the feature of angiosperm. You must know this thing, that sieve tubes are especially found in the angiosperm. It is the feature of the angiosperm. Okay, and what type of the sieve tubes elements are? So sieve tubes are long. You can see the diagram. I have made a diagram of a sieve tube element. This is the diagram of a sieve tube element. Sieve tube elements are long. Basically they are long, they are slender. Slender means they are thin. Okay, so they are long, slender, tube like cells which are joined end to end. Means I can say that one sieve tube element is placed over another sieve tube element. Okay, say for if this is one sieve tube element, then the another sieve tube element will be placed above this, and at the ends of the sieve tubes, you can see what are present, and walls are present, Say for if this is a sieve tube, then this is what the end wall, and this end wall is having sieve plate. Okay, this end wall is having sieve plate, right? Means what? This sieve plate is made up of many sieves. Sieves means pores. Okay, so this is the end wall which consists of many sieve pore, and many sieve pore constitute what? The sieve plate. So again I am repeating that a sieve tube element is the special feature of the angiosperm. Sieve tubes are long, they are slender cells, and they are joined end to end. Means one sieve tube is placed over another sieve tube, and at the end of, you can see that sieve tube possesses sieve areas. Sieve tube possesses sieve areas on end walls. So this is the end wall. and on the end wall what are present? Basically sieve pores are present. This end wall with many sieve pore is called as what? A sieve plate. Means sieve plate consists of many sieve pores, and that's why they are called as what? The sieve tube elements. Now the very peculiar feature of the sieve tube element is that in them the nucleus is altogether absent. In the sieve tube elements the nucleus is totally what? The absent. But what happens at the maturity? At the maturity nucleus is totally absent and sieve tubes are having a large vacuole. They are having a large vacuole, and we know very well whenever a vacuole is formed, then the cytoplasm is shifted towards the periphery. Cytoplasm is shifted towards the periphery. So I can say that a large central vacuole is present, and due to the formation of the vacuole, the cytoplasm is shifted towards the periphery and it is present in the form of thin layer. Okay. Now let's have a look at what happens in the winters in these sieve tubes. What happens in winters in these sieve tubes? In winters, as we know very well, that temperature comes down. Okay, so what happens? That callose plugs, I am talking about callose plugs. In winters, say for if these are the sieve pores, say for if these are the sieve pores, so what happens? That callose carbohydrate, there is a carbohydrate known as callose carbohydrate, closes these sieve pores. Callose carbohydrate closes this sieve pores, okay, with the help of what? Callose plugs, right? What I want to tell, that in the winters what happens? That sieve plate are having many sieve pores. Now these sieve pores are plugged with callose plugs. These callose plugs stops the food conduction. It stops the food conduction through sieve tube. So what will happen? That during the winter season, as the sieve pores are closed, the food conduction through the sieve tube will be stopped. But as soon as the winters are over, after winters what happens? Spring season comes, and in spring season the temperature rises. As the temperature will rise in the summer season, these callose plugs, which are made up of the callose carbohydrate, okay, this callose will dissolve, and as soon as the callose will dissolve, these sieve pores will become open, and due to the opening of the sieve pores during the summer season, the water or the food will be easily conducted through these sieve pores. Okay, so you must know about this thing also. Okay, so once again I am repeating that sieve tubes are long slender cells. They are thin walled. They are specially present in the angiosperm. In them the nucleus is totally absent. Okay, at their end walls special sieve areas are present which are having the sieve pores, and a sieve pores bearing plate is called as what? The sieve plate. Through these sieve pores food is conducted, but in the winter season the food conduction stops because of the deposition of the callose carbohydrate in the form of callose plugs. As soon as the winter season is over, the summers will come. In the summers the temperature will rise. What will happen? The callose will dissolve, the sieve pores will become open, and the food conduction will happen. Okay, so this was all about what? The sieve tube element. Okay, now coming to the second one, that is known as the sieve cells. Okay, now have a look at what is the difference between sieve tube and sieve cells. So sieve cells are like this type. Sieve cells are like this type of the cells. These are sieve cells. Okay, so they are long, thin walled with tapering ends, and they are not having specialized like the sieve tubes were having the sieve plates and all. No, they are not having the sieve tubes. Why they are not having the sieve tubes? Because all over the sieve cells, what are present? Sieve pores are present. Sieve pores are present. So sieve pores are present. Sieve pores are present all over sieve cells. So no specialized sieve plates are present. Okay, and the very important feature what is asked in the examinations, that sieve cells are present. Sieve cells are present in gymnosperms and pteridophytes. What you have to learn here is that sieve tube elements are actually present in angiosperms, and sieve cells are the feature of gymnosperms and the pteridophytes. Okay, and the chief function of the entire sieve elements, the chief function of the entire sieve elements, whether they are sieve tubes or whether they are sieve cells, they are meant for food conduction. They are especially meant for food conduction. Why? Because they are the part of phloem, and we know very well that phloem is having the role to conduct the food. So this was about the first one, that is the sieve elements. Now coming to the next one, that is known as the companion cells. That where are companion cells present, what is their location and all. Okay, so have a look about the second component, and the second component of the phloem is called as what? The companion cells. Now each sieve tube is associated with a companion cell. Okay, each sieve tube is associated with a companion cell. Say for if this is a sieve tube, okay, if this is a sieve tube, so associated with this sieve tube, you will have a look here that associated with this sieve tube is present what? A companion cell. So this is a companion cell. Okay, so each sieve tube is associated with a companion cell. Now these companion cells are also living. What you have seen, that sieve elements were also living component of phloem, and companion cells are also living component of the phloem. Okay, they have their own nucleus. They have their own nucleus. You have seen that sieve tubes were not having the nucleus, but what I have made in the companion cell, what is present? Nucleus is present. Means the companion cell by its nucleus is not only controlling its own activity, but it is also controlling the activity of the sieve tube. Why? Because we know that sieve tubes are not having the nucleus. So the activity of the sieve tube will be controlled by the nucleus of the companion cell. Okay, now companion cells are in connection with sieve tubes by plasmodesmata. Okay, plasmodesmatas are what? They are the cytoplasmic strands, and they are actually connecting the companion cell and the sieve tube. So both the companion cell and the sieve tubes are in connection with the help of special cytoplasmic strands, and these cytoplasmic strands are known as what? The plasmodesmata. Now the very important thing you have to notice is that sieve tubes and the companion cell, sieve tubes and companion cells are sister cells. What they are called as? They are called as sister cell. Why they are called as sister cell? Because both of them have originated from single mother cell. Both of them have originated from single mother cell, and that's why they are called as what? The sister cells. One more thing which is very, very important to be noticed here is that in gymnosperms and pteridophytes, very, very important point, in gymnosperms and pteridophytes, what are absent in gymnosperm and pteridophytes? Companion cells absent. Companion cells are absent. It means the presence of the companion cell is the feature of the angiosperm. Is the feature of what? Angiosperm. So you must know that in gymnosperm and pteridophyte, companion cells are absent. Then what are present? So in gymnosperms, especially the conifers have albuminous cells in place of the companion cells. Okay, so gymnosperms and pteridophytes are not having the companion cells. In gymnosperms, particularly the conifers, have albuminous cells in place of companion cell, which are somewhat similar to the companion cells. Okay, and you must know that companion cells are also living cells. Now, what is the chief function? What is the chief function of the companion cell? What is the chief function? So as they are the part of the phloem, so especially they are also meant for food conduction. They are also meant for food conduction, and they are not only controlling their own activities with the help of their nucleus, but the nucleus of the companion cell is also controlling the activity of the sieve tubes. Okay, so student, this was the explanation of the companion cell. Now coming to the third one, that is the third component of the phloem, and the third component of the phloem is called as the phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma. Now see, this phloem parenchyma, right, is also living component, of the phloem. Just now you have studied the sieve tube elements and also the companion cell. Both were living, and this is the third component that is also living. Okay, and as the name is indicating, it is made of parenchyma, and we know very well that parenchyma is a living tissue. One thing to be noticed here is that very, very important for the purpose of the competitive exams, that phloem parenchyma is totally absent in monocots. Phloem parenchyma is not at all found in monocots. No monocot, right, is having the phloem parenchyma. And now what is the function of the phloem parenchyma? So it is meant for radial conduction of food, as well as we know very well that parenchyma is having the intercellular spaces, so it is also important for storage, such as latex, resin, etc. Various substances such as resin, latex, etc. are actually stored by the phloem parenchyma, but it is totally absent in the case of monocots. Okay, so this was the third component of the phloem. Coming to the next component of the phloem, the last component of the phloem, and that is known as the phloem fiber. Now this is the only the dead component of phloem. Other three components what we have studied were living, but this is the only dead component of the phloem, and these fibers are made of sclerenchyma. These fibers are made of sclerenchyma. These fibers are made up of sclerenchyma and they are thick walled. They are thick walled with narrow cavity. They are thick walled with narrow cavity and tapering ends. Okay, these are having narrow cavity with tapering ends. Fibers are like this type. See here, their ends are pointed, but as they are composed of what? Sclerenchyma. So what happens, that substance is deposited on them and their cavity become reduced, and their cavity is regularly what? Reduced. See this, the substances are deposited, and that's why I have written that they are thick walled, but they are having narrow cavity and they are having tapering ends. What is their function? What is their function? So they will be providing what? Mechanical strength, because they are dead, and they will be providing what? The mechanical strength. Some commercial phloem fibers are very important on economic point of view. They are very important on economic point of view, such as for example hibiscus. These are the fibers, hibiscus. Second is cannabis, hibiscus, linum. Right? I have written some commercial fibers here. Commercial phloem fibers. These are commercial phloem fibers, such as hibiscus, okay, cannabis, linum. These are all what? Commercial fibers, but the phloem fibers are having the chief role to provide the mechanical strength. Okay, so students, this was about the complex tissue known as the phloem. So I have made two videos on the complex tissue, that is xylem and the phloem. I have already uploaded the video on the xylem. You can see my videos, and this is the second complex tissue what I have presented today about the phloem. If you have liked this video, subscribe my channel. Also like, share and comment. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. We'll be coming soon. Thank you.